Coming up next on The Spot. We are live from EA Redwood Shores, bringing you the latest on NHL 12, Battlefield 3, The Sims 3 Pets, and much, much more. We're live and on the spot.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to EA Studio Showcase. I'm Chris Waters here with GameSpot, covering the hottest games that EA's talking about today. And of course, the one that I'm most excited about myself, being a big Burnout fan, is Burnout Crash. Joining me, Richard Frank, the creative director for Burnout Crash. Richard, it's an exciting day for you.
Very, very exciting. I've been waiting a long time for this.
Now, Burnout Crash, obviously the series has a esteemed pedigree, but talk to us about Crash. Give folks an entry point for this new entry.
Well, what we've done is we've gone back to our roots. We've reinvented Crash Mode. We kind of wanted to make it a big party game because Crash was always best in a party, but we really wanted to take it all the way back and amplify it. So we took inspiration from pinball games, we took inspiration from game shows and retro music, all the stuff that we felt in a living room atmosphere would just get people excited. And you know, it's a very different kettle of fish, but its genetic code is kind of Crash Mode still. You'll know it when you play it.
Absolutely. Now, for those of you who are unfamiliar with Crash Mode, it's basically the idea is to cause as much damage as possible by speeding into an intersection and hitting cars and causing ridiculous chain reactions of explosions. And, you know, if that's what Burnout Crash is delivering, I'm into it. So talk to us about what's... You know, we know where it's coming from. You know what you guys are trying to create here. Let's jump into the game and see what it looks like to jump into Burnout Crash.
Cool. Well, one of the cool things we've got in Burnout Crash is that we've got the next iteration of Autolog, which you've probably seen in Need for Speed Hot Pursuit. Mm-hmm. So what we've got is James is going to select. He's going to go into Autolog Recommends. And he's using my profile, but he's going to go down there and find a recommendation. And he's going to select that, and basically that's going to pit him against that recommendation. So he's selecting one of our wacky cars, some of which you will recognise from Burnout Paradise. Each one has its own theme tune.
So should I refer to you going forward as the Grand Poobah of disasters, as the game dictates?
Since I have collected all the stars in the game, I am now known as the Grand Poobah of disasters. But yeah, as you play through, you'll be given various silly names.
Silly names to flaunt to your friends through the Autolog system.
It's better than going, I've got 49 stars. It's better to give them a silly name.
Now, we see James here raising his arms. He's checking out the Kinect controls. Talk to us about why, you know, you guys excited about the whole Kinect functionality, making that a party atmosphere kind of thing?
Yeah, sorry, we're standing in the Kinect zone, so it's getting confused. It's fine now. So you can see we love Kinect. We really felt like Kinect gave us the best opportunities to take the party vibe of the game even further. So what we're doing is we're creating an exclusive game mode, party game mode for Kinect, which James is showing us now. So what he has to do is to trigger the crash breaker, he has to jump, and then after the crash breaker is blown up, he uses aftertouch by moving around the space to direct the car. Just like in Burnout 3, when you fired a crash breaker, you could move the car using aftertouch. So it's exactly the same in that respect.
Help you create a little more mayhem and tag the pizza truck of fortune, it seems?
And the pizza truck drives in, yeah. In this mode is called Rush Hour. We've got 3 game modes, each of which requires different strategies in order to maximise your score. This particular one is like a time attack. You've got 90 seconds to destroy as much as possible, and occasionally you will see a pizza truck. When you blow it up, you'll get an amusing surprise. If he manages to blow it up, you'll see what I mean.
I think we caught a glimpse of that earlier, and so now we're seeing just points rack up on the screen as crashes happen, as he explodes, as he drifts around using aftertouch. And there's even buildings getting destroyed around this intersection.
Yeah, I mean, one thing we wanted to do, by dialing back on all the, you know, the usual shaders and next-gen graphics and stuff, we really wanted to dial back on that so that we could really ramp up the gameplay, really make the most of it. And one of those things was, well, we always wanted to destroy the buildings, and now we can. We've got so much more to play with. So we've got multiple routes into the crash. We can blow up everything on the screen. Literally everything can be destroyed. So you can completely make a mess of the whole junction.
Now that sounds like a good time, and it certainly looks like James made quite a mess of things. And are now, is this the sort of bonus round? Of course, he's not quite equaling his previous performance, as we can see. You know, part of that auto log is the indicator in the top right-hand corner showing you who on your friends list has the next best score.
So because he did a recommendation, it's showing him the person who he was trying to beat. So as that bar fills up, it's showing you how close you are to beating that friend. So he failed to beat himself, and he's going to have another go. He's keeping on trying. Well, it is fun. And it's good exercise too, actually.
He is certainly leaping around.
Here comes the pizza truck. He's getting very excited over there. Oh, he didn't escape.
Tough. On the other side of the intersection. Now, these levels, the traffic is random each time you go into play, so maybe you get a better deployment, or how does it work?
The traffic is authored, so you will get the same number of traffic and the same density and speed, but there's a slight random element in there, so when you replay the level, you'll get much the same traffic, but there will be slight differences to keep it interesting every time you play the game.
Yeah, and so you keep having to adapt. Now it looks like he blew that house out, and there's like a giant pit where the foundation was. This is total destruction.
A bit of advanced gameplay. If he jumps down the hole, he'll actually get to drive in again, as we can see.
There he goes. So this is maybe, if you get a little far out of the intersection, a good way to restart it.
Exactly. It can be quite useful, because also you can get chains, smash chains we call them. Well, along the alternate routes, we've put all of these little bits of street furniture, like lampposts and bushes and stuff. If you smash through a load of those in a row, you'll actually get a smash chain bonus, so you can get quite a lot of cash for doing those smash chains. So it's a little bit of an advanced technique.
Certainly seems like there is plenty of room for finagling to create the most destruction you possibly can here. It's reminding me of, you know, lining up the micro machines, the Hot Wheels on my living room floor, and just crashing them all together. Like those commercials that you saw that never quite made it as cool. They made it look a lot cooler than you could make it look in your living room. This looks like it's making it as cool as those commercials and more.
Oh yeah, well what's great about this version of Crash is that because we've been able to focus on it, there's an awful lot of depth to the gameplay, but it is very easy to get into. You only need to drive in and crash to cause a crash and get some points, but there's a lot of advanced techniques you can learn as you're playing.
All right, Richard, let's see. Is he gonna make the pizza truck? Oh, James, the pizza truck.
Game and find out what happens to the pizza truck.
Now, speaking of Richard, when can folks buy this game? How are you going to be delivering it to them?
Well, you'll be able to get it on Xbox Live Arcade and PlayStation Network in the fall, so not that far away.
Not that far away. You too can be causing all sorts of micro mayhem on your screen. Thank you so much, Richard. A pleasure to talk about the game and check it out.
You're very welcome. Thank you very much.
Folks, our live coverage of the EA Studio Showcase continues. We're going over now to Homer Ibarra, who has found his way into the secret world, and he's got a whole new scoop for you to check out right now.
Hey folks, Homer Ibarra here in the inner sanctum of the EA Redwood Shores campus, and literally we are in the inner sanctum. That's the name of the room, right?
Yep.
And we're here to see one of the most anticipated titles of the year, in my opinion, The Secret World. Now, why don't you introduce yourself for our audience here?
Yeah, sure. My name's Joe Boyles. I'm the lead content designer on The Secret World.
And you are?
I'm Martin Brusgaard. I'm the lead designer of The Secret World.
All right, cool. So now, you guys are kind of taking an interesting twist here for MMOs. What do you guys show? For the folks who don't know about The Secret World, first talk about what it's all about, and then what you guys are doing to kind of change the genre.
Yeah. So, from a story perspective, The Secret World asks the question, what if every myth, legend, and conspiracy theory were true?
All right. Now, we talked earlier about the changes that you guys are kind of bringing to the genre. What is The Secret World doing that other MMOs haven't really done?
Well, we're really excited about not having any classes or any levels. The character is not tied down to any specific role. There are hundreds of abilities that the player can train and change out the different roles depending on what sort of challenge is in front of him.
All right, so now we got the game running back here. Let's get into what we're showing off here at the studio showcase right now. For those who can't see behind us, there's like a billion computers set up, and we got a whole world of gameplay going. Explain to our audience what's happening on the screen here.
All right, so at the moment, the guys are running around in one of the playfields known as Solomon Island. What we're actually demoing most of the time today is an instance, a dungeon run of the game, and showing people how that works. But at the moment, the guys are just taking some R&R by running around killing zombies in the town just outside of the dungeon. Okay,
so it looks like she's equipped with a sledgehammer here. What are the weapons that players are going to be able to use, and what kind of enemies will they be confronting in the secret world?
Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously we have the classic zombies, vampires, mummies. You know, we have all these sort of standard legendary monsters. In addition, weapons-wise, we have blood magic, chaos magic, elemental magic. We have assault rifles, pistols. We have shotguns, hammers, fists. We have, you know, tons of weapons and tons of abilities for people to pick and choose from.
All right, so now we're set in the modern world, right? And now, as you mentioned, there's no levels and no classes. So how can a player track progression in the game?
Well, this is something that we're also really excited about, having two forms of progression. We have the vertical progression and the horizontal progression. The vertical progression comes in form of getting items. Getting better items will make your character stronger. May it be healing, doing damage, doing crowd controlling, whatever. But also the horizontal progression is really important. Getting all of these 500 abilities that the players are able to get, and sort of adapting play styles from day to day. You can play as a healer one day, you can play as a damage healer the other day, or maybe play as a hybrid. It's all up to the player.
All right, now is the world going to be a persistent world where you jump in and things will be dynamic and changing all the time?
Absolutely. The world is persistent. Different events will happen where players need to collaborate to overcome these challenges. So it's a really, really interesting world.
All right, so let's talk about kind of entry. You know, for someone who isn't necessarily a big MMO guy, what's going to be the big thing that's going to get folks to bite and to get into the secret world right away?
Well, I mean, the game has like 4 pillars, but one of the main ones is story. So when the players start the game, they first introduced to the game through gorgeous cutscenes, which we use to good effect to tell the story, and then we sort of introduce the player to full voiceover. We have full voiceover throughout the game. There's nothing that's not voiced over. So players will really just sort of feel at home straight away, and then the controls will be familiar. The game will play very smoothly for people. It'll be very obvious sort of what's going on, and about 5 minutes after you start playing the game, you get to go into the past and start dealing with things. So time travel almost at the start of the game. So it's
instantly teleporting to another land and another time, dealing with challenges and whatnot. So you mentioned this is a world where everything's true. So let's talk about some of the myths that you'll be addressing in the game that folks can look forward to.
Well, I mean, to start with, the game's really focused on the factions, right? And so part of the faction gameplay is that we have 3 factions: the Illuminati, the Templar, and the Dragon. And these are obviously 3 factions that are very steeped in conspiracy theories already. So we have access to all of that sort of vault of knowledge for those factions. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. Anything you want to add in terms of just like game design, gameplay it's a rich world of myths and legends and all sorts of stuff. Has that given you guys a lot of freedom to do what you want to do in the secret world?
Absolutely. And the cool thing about it is that having the sort of the catchphrase, everything is true. All we need to do is look for stuff that you've heard of. You've heard of vampires, you've heard of zombies, you've heard of all these myths and legends, and all we do is play on that, and we make everything come true.
All right, very cool. So you guys are showing off this instance here at EA's Studio Showcase. Is there going to be more to come in the next coming months up to launch?
Oh, absolutely. We're building on things, and we'll be showing more and more to the players as time goes by. Yeah, so there's more coming.
All right, cool. So give our audience an idea when the game's coming out and what platforms.
It's coming out on the PC, and we haven't released any release date yet.
All right, it's still a mystery. Everything in this world may be true, but the release date at this point is still fiction, right?
Yeah, we'll make people work to figure that one out. So.
All right, very good. Thanks for joining us. Yes. Enjoy your flight back to Oslo, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it'll be great. Yeah, sitting, the good old 13-hour flight. I enjoy it.
Sounds awesome. Yeah. So this is Homer from the EA Studio Showcase 2011 at Redwood Shores. More to come, and on to the rest of the show.
And here we are in the studio here at EA's Summer Showcase. You're joining us live as we're covering EA's showcase, and we've been, taking a look at Burnout, Crash, taking a look at some stuff on the show floor with Homer, and right now we're planning to take a look at Madden 12, but they haven't showed up yet, and like the upcoming NFL season, they may not show up. So, pretty shortly, we're going to head back to the show floor to check in with Homer again. Just wanted to reassure you folks, we're here, we're live, and we've got demos lined up for the foreseeable future coming at you. We're going to head over to Homer right now, who's checking in with Eddie McCoo about the news from today's press conference. Take it away, Homer.
Hey folks, Homer Bar here at the EA Studio Showcase 2011, and we are actually on the show floor here. We got our setup over there, and I'm over here in the blue ambient light looking all fresh and, moody and whatnot. But without further ado, we got Eddie. What's going on, Eddie? We're here rocking some news, right?
We are rocking some news today.
All right, so press conference a couple hours ago. We streamed that live. Go check out the archive if you haven't seen it. A lot of announcements, right? We're going to start off with the first two announcements, one of which is right behind us, right?
And as you can tell, it's Dragon Age 2 Legacy. This was announced today. It was rumored a little while earlier, but it's been officially confirmed today. It's the latest add-on for Dragon Age 2. It brings new weapons, new environments, characters, and just a lot more things to do inside the Dragon Age universe.
All right, so this was kind of rumored about a month ago, right? And I read some articles saying that there's an achievement list in the 360 version or whatever. And so now they announced it, but how much can you talk about right now? What do they reveal about the character classes, the level caps, and whatnot?
There isn't a ton to go on right now. There's no firm, they haven't said what the level cap is going to be raised to, or things like that, and there actually isn't a price yet. So you're going to there's definitely some things in between now and its release date, which is July 26th, that you're going to be want to looking out for, which we'll have on the site.
All right, cool. And we are actually going to have a demo of that DLC later on the show, so stay tuned for that. But then, another announcement that hit that a lot of folks were highly anticipating, but now they've let it out of the bag. We got another Burnout title coming.
Yeah, Burnout Crash. It was originally rumored back all the way in April. There was a trademark filing for it, and now it's it's completely official. And it's coming from Criterion Games, which are the guys who have done all the Burnout games to date, and it's going to be on the Xbox Live Arcade and PlayStation Network, and on the XBLA game is actually going to use Kinect. So it's going to be one of these where you use your hand.
What was that? What did you do that again? It's going to be
one of those.
One of these, according to Eddie. We've had that demo earlier in the show. If you didn't see it or if you miss it, go ahead and check the archive again. But Eddie, I know you've been eyeballing a certain game that we can't necessarily talk about. But we will be able to soon. It's Battlefield 3.
Battlefield 3, yeah. We can't talk about it right now, but check back on the site later this month, and we'll definitely have a lot more to share.
All right, cool. So now we're gonna. Thanks for joining us, Eddie. We'll catch up with you a little bit later. Talk about NBA Jam and whatnot. So now we're gonna move over to the Battlefield Heroes area and get a quick demo. This is a Battlefield game we can talk about, and I actually spoke with Steph a little bit earlier. How's it going, Steph?
Good. How are you?
Doing well. Thanks for joining us. We're live right now, so we're gonna talk about Battlefield Heroes and give us a quick rundown.
So Battlefield Heroes is actually one of our very first play for free games. We just hit an 8 million registered users mark. And we are introducing a new map that's based off of Wake Island. It's a big fan favorite. And basically, it's a good time.
It looks like you're having a good time here. So what character class are you playing as right now, and what can you tell me about the map that you're showing off?
So right now I am in a tank doing a really good job. So basically this is not an objective map. You're kind of just trying to get, or it is an objective map, sorry. You're trying to claim each of the flags with your teammates. And hey, Alex.
All right, we're getting our,
We're going to have him talk to you as I play.
Okay, yes. The talking and playing thing has a tendency to be a little difficult. All right, Alex, how's it going? Why don't you introduce yourself for the camera here?
Sure. Hey, I'm Alex. I work in marketing for EA.
All right, cool. So we're showing off Battlefield Heroes, obviously, and the free-to-play game. And Steph is driving, or now she's walking. What kind of character class is she playing right here?
She's playing a gunner type. Gunner's kind of like a heavy. He's got more HP, heavier weapons. He's got a rocket launcher. And she's actually got the Isaac from Dead Space customized suit. Nice. So I'm going to show you something real quick. Isaac's suit has a special ability where he just shoots straight up with a jetpack in the air.
Oh, look at that. You got There we go. We got some jumping in the air there.
And you can use that to kind of sneak in behind your enemies, just surprise them. Steph just activated a sprint so she can get to where she wants to go quicker.
All right, so obviously you guys are infusing some of that Dead Space universe into Battlefield Heroes. Are we going to see a little more overlap? I mean, perhaps a Dragon Age themed or maybe a Mass Effect theme?
Yeah, anything's possible. You know, we're really big fans of kind of integrating a lot of our brands and franchises together. You can actually get Medal of Honor Tier 1 operative outfits in this game as well, and some of their special weapons. Yeah.
All right, so yeah, talk about also what platform. Obviously, it's on PC, and when is this map going to be available for folks?
Wicked Wake actually just launched, and it's just a throwback to the Wake Island maps that have been coming out for the Battlefield franchise all along, right?
All right.
Yeah.
Cool, Alex. Thanks for joining us. All right, Steph. Thanks for demoing, and kudos to your effort to talk and play at the same time. I know it's difficult.
Oh, thanks.
All right, cool. So that's part one of our floor check-ins here at the EA Studio Showcase 2011. We're going to go check out some Sims Medieval next, but right now I'm going to toss it back to Chris for more live demos.
Cool. Okay.
All right, thanks, Alex.
All right, we are back here in the studio. As you can see, we're on the ISO shot because no one is sitting in the chair next to me just now. But NHL just popped right in here real quick, and I'm not live right now, I'm being told. Or I am live right now. It's the magic of live webcasting, folks. We are live. I am in the chat room, and we are taking questions, comments. Get in there and discuss what you've seen so far. Our friends from NHL 12 are here, so I think we're going to try to get them to come on and sit on the stage right now. I'm going to wait for some confirmation from the folks running things back there. Hope you folks have been enjoying the show so far. I've been having a good time. I haven't seen a whole lot of the games myself. I was over there at Burnout Crash, obviously, and I know for you Burnout fans out there, you know, it's not sort of maybe what you're expecting. You know, you maybe really like Crash Mode. I really like Crash Mode myself, but it initially was a little strange, but watching him play, jumping around on the Kinect, it actually looks like a lot of fun and like that sort of action figure fun you might have had with your Hot Wheels, with your setups in your living room and whatnot. I certainly did. All right, now, before I keep talking about Burnout Crash without any NHL, I'm going to look over here, see what you guys are doing. What's the deal? We're going back out to Homer. We're going back out to Homer. Homer is continuing his tour of the studio showcase setup out there. Let's see what he's up to next. We're going to give him a little more time. This is it, folks. They're doing it live, and that's the magic of it. Another cool thing about that whole Burnout game that I liked was watching someone jump up and down and look kind of foolish. That's the thrill of Connect. So it's the kind of thing where you get folks in the room together, you get them acting the fool, you get them trying to blow things up and lean this way, and that way you hopefully stay out of the way because nobody likes to get stepped on. Especially not Homer Ibarra, who I'm told is ready to go from the showcase floor. Let's see what he's got this time.
Hey folks, Homer Ibarra back here, and I am at the EA Studio Showcase 2011 on the show floor here with Aaron Cohen. How's it going, Aaron? Producer on The Sims Medieval.
Good to see you. How's it going?
I'm doing wonderful. Now you guys are showing off some new content here. It's Pirates and Nobles, right?
Right, it's Pirates and Nobles. Arr.
All right, so give us the rundown. We got the game running in the back here. Yep. We got the Queen sitting upon the booty throne, right?
Booty throne. Check it out, the booty throne right there. And basically what it is we took pirates and nobles, we brought them into the kingdom. They're in conflict. It's two groups of people who don't like each other. And we're telling a big epic story. Well, the first one had a lot of small stories told through the quest system. Now we're telling a big story with a beginning, middle, and end. It starts with a mystery, you get a little action, get a little warfare, get a little conflict going, and then it resolves in 3 different ways. So it's crazy cool. We've never done this with The Sims before, so we're really excited to try and tell a story like this that's this big. We've also added treasure hunting. We've added parrots and falcons that you could train. We've added interrogation chair, not a torture chair, because no one tortures Sims.
Nobody tortures Sims.
Sims have never been tortured. However, we do make them feel very uncomfortable in very funny, gentle ways. And so there's a lot of content, a lot of things to see, do, find. It's a ton of fun. Pirates and Nobles. What's more fun than pirates?
I'm way into pirates. So let's actually, if you wouldn't mind talking and playing at the same time, let's jump in here. So we got our queen.
queen. We're going to head on over to the beach and meet our pirate. So our queen decked out. She's a bit of a pirate fan. You saw her throne room is all piratified. And so she's going to head out here and say hello to the Dread Pirate. Now, they are pirate buds, and that means they get to do the secret pirate handshake. Now, funny story, the designers who did this, it took them hours. They worked it out, and the designers on the game can now do this. They literally do this in the hallways at work.
That's pretty sweet. I mean, that's a pretty complex shake right there.
Yeah, it's a very complex shake. You're not going to see that every day.
No.
I'm going to call my parrot down, and here comes the black parrot.
Look at him.
And now I could do a few things. I could feed the parrot. I could give a name to the parrot. Cool thing to do is send the parrot off to attack somebody. So my good friend, the Dread Pirate there, is going to get a little visit from my parrot.
Nice.
She has no idea what's coming. She's like, everything's fine. Oh, no. Oh, and my queen thinks that's hilarious. And it's just the funniest thing she's ever seen.
So needless to say, you guys probably won't be doing that handshake again later.
Won't be doing the handshake again later. That is very true. Now, if you have time for one more, we'll head on over.
Oh, yeah, let's just get right into it.
We will get to the interrogation chair, which I think is going to be quite popular with the folks. We'll head on down here. I'm going to do a little bit of cheating and zap my character in here.
Zap it up.
Now, the interrogation chair, I could interrogate anyone who's in the nearby. Poor Nima is going to be the one who's nearby.
Oh, Nima, you're in for it.
And here she comes. She's like, what's going on? How's things? What? Why don't you just sit right down and, get in the chair. Wow. Now, I have a few different things I could do to her now that she's in the chair. And this is a mini game. There's actually gameplay to this. I want to drive down her will, but at the same time keep her alert. If she falls asleep, that's bad. You got to keep her awake, and you have to break her will. So you'll play through the different techniques to see which one works. Let's try a little tickling.
Look at that. There's a lot of joy in this, in this interrogation chair.
Well, tickling, I don't know how ticklish you are, but personally, I would have already given up. I would have already told you the secrets to the nuclear vessels, right? I just already would have given up. Oh, she actually said she wanted more. So let's give her the chinchilla attack. Now, the dire chinchillas were introduced in the base game, and you never really saw them, and they are kind of invisible, but clearly it's very uncomfortable for this poor woman to have the chinchilla in her lap. She's not enjoying herself. And after this poor event is over, we'll see if her will actually goes down or up. Because some Sims actually like a few of these particular... Oh, she actually went down a little bit and went down a little bit. We'll do one more. We'll show the box. Now, don't know what's in the mysterious box. Sometimes it's evil.
Apparently she's into it.
Nope, she's quite amused by the box. Sometimes you get shrieks of terror, sometimes you get, I don't care so much.
Right.
So that's the torture chair, and so just very quickly, that's very...
Not a torture chair, the interrogation chair.
Sorry, you were correct. Right.
I called you out.
It's the interrogation chair. No torture has occurred.
Right on.
No torture has occurred. We have not violated any treaties whatsoever.
All right, I'm getting the old wrap it up here. Aaron, thanks for joining us, giving us the rundown on Pirates and Nobles. When are folks going to be able to get their hands on it?
August 30th. Check it out.
All right, August 30th. You're here to hear first, folks. Pirates and Nobles for The Sims Medieval. Now, on to the rest of the show.
Great, thanks.
Here we go, folks. We are live here at EA Summer Showcase, and joining me on set is Sean Ramjagsing, the line producer on NHL 12. Sean, thank you for coming to the set. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
We saw the press conference earlier on NHL 12, obviously one of EA's tentpole sports franchises. Coming out this year, there was some talk about 3 improvements to the gameplay, stuff like that. What do you want to highlight here today in the demo?
Yeah, well, so every year we're trying to make the most authentic gameplay experience possible. So with NHL 12, we have over 300 gameplay refinements, so really focusing on little things, but we also have what we're calling our hat trick of innovations. So anticipation AI, where every player thinks for themselves. Our full contact physics engine, where size and strength really matter this year, and then our dynamic goalies, where goalies are live for the first time. Probably one of the most requested features from our community.
And those were demonstrated really well. If you folks get some time later to check out the press conference, they had a pretty well highlighted step-by-step breakdown of those 3 elements. But what we have now here is a live game in progress between Washington and Pittsburgh. And so Ovechkin taking a shot from far out. Sean, tell us sort of what folks can look at here to really sort of pique their interest.
Yeah, really look at the AI here. So at E3, we talked a lot about the sizzly part of the full contact physics engine with everything being live and the breaking glass and the nets coming off. And so we want to really focus more on the details, the substance of our AI this year and all the work that we've put in. So you'll see here that players like Ovechkin, guys who have high offensive awareness and like to take chances, will start to leak out before their teammates actually get the puck. So in the past, with our games and with our sports games as well, you didn't know you were on offense or on defense until your team had possession of the puck or the other team had possession. So now this year, with the anticipation AI, players will anticipate their player getting the puck, look for a scoring opportunity, and go to where they need to be. And the same thing happens on defense as well. So if you're a guy with a high defensive awareness, you'll anticipate and start to go where the puck is. So it's really changed the way our AIs play. It's something that we're really, really proud of.
And so, obviously the single player experience is going to be enhanced by improved AI, but NHL 12 is also a very big multiplayer focused game, getting the whole roster out there of live players. How do you find that AI works in when it's maybe just one or two AI players in a sea of human players?
Well, I think the one thing you'll notice the most, and you probably see it here as Justin goes up the ice, is we focus on the neutral zone. So teammates will try to give the puck here better puck support. In NHL 11, a lot of times you run into your teammates as you're going through the neutral zone. You run from the blue line. So we're really focused on your teammates giving better puck support through the neutral zone and in the offensive zone as well. So recognizing where the puck is, where the open ice is, and really moving with intent to give the best passing opportunity and to really support the puck.
Excellent. Now, of course, we're just not even a month out of the epic Stanley Cup clash between the Canucks and the Bruins. How was that? Do you guys sort of take sides within the studio and really get into the cup?
Well, I mean, we're all Vancouver fans. Most of us are Vancouver fans living up in Vancouver, so we enjoyed the run. I can tell you that the entire team was behind it. We're all diehard hockey fans working on the game, which is the reason why we're able to raise the bar every single year, just through the passion of the development team. So, the Canucks run was something that we all enjoyed. We're all leaving the office early to go home and watch hockey.
No doubt.
It was a lot of fun.
Any little inspirations from watching that particular match? Maybe tweak a player's rating here or there, make Tim Thomas's goalie rating off the charts.
Well, a couple things. So we saw the way that Boston really dominated the physical part of the game. So with our size and strength really mattering this year, Zdeno Chara dominated in front of the net throughout the entire Stanley Cup Finals and allowed Tim Thomas to make those incredible saves. So, our net battles in front of the net where size and strength really matter is something that you're going to see in our game this year. And also, when we talk about the goalies being live and being able to get bumped and be able to get run and being a live part of gameplay, they also need to be able to make incredible saves like Tim Thomas, scrambling saves, desperation type saves. So in NHL 12, you'll see that as well. As a goalie gets bumped a little bit out of position, he'll still be able to scramble and make a save, make an incredible desperation save, a highlight reel save. So seeing that in the playoffs play out right in front of us, which lined up with the things that we're doing for NHL 12, was pretty cool to see.
Especially with the focus on the dynamic goalies. Now, so if I'm playing in a league match, I'm playing with a bunch of other players, is that going to affect my experience like playing as the goalie?
So playing as the goalies will be live. So if you're controlling the goalie, you can still get bumped as well, and you can hack back a little bit too, like we saw in the playoffs. Tim Thomas would have hit. So that applies to user control players as well. When we talk about the EA Sports Hockey League and online team play, that's really part of the inspiration for our net battles in front of the net, so that if you had a big, strong guy as your character that you're controlling, you can really take advantage of that size and strength in front of the net. And if you're a big, strong power forward as well, just making sure that small, quick guys weren't the best way to construct a team.
And a nice little goal. Is that for us or against us there, Justin? Nice work. Good on you. Scoring when the cameras are rolling. Clutch. That's the kind of clutch play we like to see. Now, of course, we are live, folks. So join the chat, send us an email, and you can ask us questions, and we'll relay them to the EA Sports folks right here on set. Now, Sean, are you one of the Canucks fans?
I'm one of the diehard Canucks fans.
Diehard Canuck fan?
I am, yes.
So is that your go-to team when you play, or do you like to sort of experiment with other squads and see how that works out?
Typically my go-to, but I try and play with all the different teams. Especially this year as we focus on the player differentiation, the size and strength, like I mentioned. just to make sure that all the players are playing the way that we expect them to play on the ice. So, typically when we play around the office now, you press the random 5 times, and that's the team that you get, just to make sure that everyone's playing with every team.
The office rules.
Office rules.
Now, you guys play around the office, no doubt, but a lot of people, as we talked about before, play this online. Are there, with NHL 12, are there any changes to the online landscape that, multiplayer aficionados are going to want to take notice of?
So, absolutely. We have lots of great stuff coming out for online and other features as well, but we're not talking about them quite yet, so stay tuned and check back with us. We have lots of great stuff coming up still.
All right, still plenty of time for you guys to leak out those things and reveal them as the release date approaches. So that's Backstrom, or whatever that guy's name was. I thought I caught it real quick. Was that sort of an example of him, transitioning through the neutral zone,
coming through the neutral zone?
Forward?
Yeah, you'll see as Justin goes through the neutral zone, you'll see the players start to spread out as he makes a bad pass under the pressure. You'll see the players
Justin. 1 goal, that was minutes ago.
Yeah, you'll see the players start to spread out, really get puck support to the puck carrier. And you'll also see, if you don't headman the puck to your guy, you'll see him start to straddle the blue line this year and try to drag his leg to stay onside. So a whole lot of time went into just making sure that our offside or onside logic allowed players to act intelligently around the blue line if the puck wasn't past them. So, again, just really focusing on all the little details with the AI this year.
Now, of course, one detail that people always focus on, I'm sure, when the question of a hockey video game comes up. Question coming in from SidBurn19, wanting to know about any sort of fighting in the game. I was trying to think of a clever way to put it, but let's just call it what it is. Dudes get into little scuffles.
Fighting's a part of the sport. It's an authentic part of the sport. There's a reason why fighting happens. Intimidation is part of the sport, so we try to model that, as accurately as possible. So this year, the big addition for us is allowing the goalies to fight. When we started talking about making goalies live early in pre-production this year, allowing you to bump the goalies and having them not be immovable objects. One of the first things that we talked about is we have to have goalie fights in the game. One of the problems that we came up with, though, is that with us trying to be as authentic as possible, is that there hasn't been a goalie fight in the NHL in a long time. And sure enough, this season there ended up being 2 or 3 goalie fights. So it was authentic.
There you go.
So we had reason to get it back in the game.
Perfect inspiration for your dynamic goalie movements.
Yeah. It was a nice pass actually we just saw where the CPU team was stretching the defense, getting the blue line with a nice long outlet pass.
Another question coming in through the chat room from Thaw Gamer, wondering if there is a demo planned, a demo in the works.
There's a demo in the works. The official date for the demo to be live is still TBD. So keep following us on Facebook and Twitter, and we'll get that out there as soon as we lock it down.
So search Facebook for NHL 12. What's your Twitter handle?
My Twitter is Rammer34.
Okay.
But EA Sports NHL is where all the official information comes through.
Perfect. And of course, we are at GameSpot on Twitter, and you can also tweet us questions here live at the EA Summer Showcase as we watch the period expire.
We complete our second period of play in this game. Pittsburgh's goaltending through the first 40.
End of the period or end of the game, Justin? Are you victorious yet? End of the second period. Well, that looks like a good time for us to bring our NHL 12 demo to a close here at the EA Summer Showcase. Sean, tell the folks when it's coming out. When can people play NHL 12?
September 13th, Xbox 360 and PS3. Make sure you check it out.
Great. Thank you so much for coming by here. A pleasure to have you guys on here as always. Now, folks, we have got Homer Ibarra doing his best to cover the EA Showcase out on the floor. I believe some fire might be involved with his next segment. Let's take a look.
And go. Hey, folks, Homer Ibarra here, back at the EA Studio Showcase show floor here, and I'm standing with my boy Eddie. Eddie back here once again with a couple more new tidbits. A lot's going on, dude.
Okay, yeah.
All sorts of stuff. Let's check it out. Okay, so a couple more announcements, right, from the press conference. You've been playing a little of these games.
I have been.
Give us the lowdown on what you're talking about next.
So another big announcement that was made today was an expansion to The Sims Medieval. It's called Nobles and Pirates.
We just saw that, but give us a little bit more detail on that.
Oh, okay. It's coming out this August, which you probably already know too.
I know that.
You know that.
Give me some I don't know, Ed.
The nobles and the pirates, they don't get along.
They hate each other.
They hate each other, so they're going to town. There's an interrogation chair.
Yep.
Which, I didn't know you knew all this.
I know some stuff.
Okay, well, the interrogation chair, EA was very clear to make sure it wasn't a torture chair, because you can't.
We did catch the producer saying torture. We did. We got him on tape.
Yeah, he wasn't supposed to say that. But yeah, so there's going to be that.
Get the notes out, man. Break it down.
I know. Yeah, just basically it's coming out this August, and it's going to just make the Sims even bigger. Which
price point and the same.
No price point right now, but PC and Mac.
PC and Mac. All right, so Sims Medieval, Pirates and Nobles, obviously, and then we got some more information on this title right back behind here. We're actually going to get a live demo with our good friend here, NBA Jam On Fire Edition, $15, right?
$15, yeah, which is a lot better than when it came in the box. It was a lot more expensive. This is coming to the Xbox Live and PlayStation Network this fall. Is all they'll give us. They won't give us a specific date yet. It's got apparently 1,000 new tweaks and just new lines for the commentator, and just it's apparently a true fan service. So they're really trying to put it to the basketball players. I mean, to the fans. You can recreate the finals of last year, Heat and Cavs, and maybe it'll work out a different way.
Heat and Cavs.
Heat and Cavs. Sorry, I'm sorry.
Heat and Mavs.
Heat and Mavs. There's one letter. One letter.
One letter can make a lot of difference, dude. You know what I mean? It's like, anyways, I'm not going to get into it. But you're talking about the recreating the finals. Can you make LeBron choke as hard as he did in the real finals?
I would love to. That's the way that I hope it turns out. But yeah, but it's a user control experience. So who knows?
All right. Eddie, thanks for joining us, man. I think that's it, dude. You're done. You're off the hook. Go get some free watermelon. They got some cupcakes out there. I know you're a big boy. Go get some. All right, Eddie, thanks for joining us, buddy. All right, so we're going to go find our good friend here. Looks like he... Oh, there we go. There we go. I'm chasing you down. All right, so how's it going?
Good.
All right, we are live now, and we're going to talk about some NBA Jam Fire Edition.
Yeah, On Fire Edition. We're super psyched about this. I think I heard somebody talking $15.
$15.
$15 on Xbox Live Arcade and PlayStation Network. We broke off that core 2-on-2 classic, authentic, meat and potatoes NBA Jam experience, and we're doubling down on it. We're enhancing it. We're improving it. So many, 1,000 little tweaks in here, adding more variety and more strategy and more depth. Brand new AI system. We've got new game modes. We've got new players, rosters, secret characters. All the above. We're loading up on this. This is a passion product for me and the team. We love making this game, and this was an opportunity for us to take all the feedback from all the Jam fans out there and add some new stuff of our own. And yeah, it's $15. We couldn't be more psyched about putting this out there and having people play it.
Obviously, so when the last year's edition came out, had some things that maybe some folks were, they wanted the bread and butter, so you guys were focusing on that, making that more enhanced. So can we talk about some of those enhancements, secret characters and whatnot?
Yeah, sure. Jam fans, they want tag mode, right? And tag mode, for those of you that don't know, it's just being able to switch between players. In the original Jam, the last version that we just put out, we were dedicated to being as true to that original as possible. And in the original Jam, you could not switch players. Right. So we were going that way. So this time we're like, okay, we got to do tag mode this time. As soon as we popped it in, the game's like 2-3 times more fun with tag mode when you're playing with an AI teammate. Just being able to switch between players at all times. It's just so much faster, so much more tactical. And it's just like if you're playing with Kobe and Gasol, you pull up for a three-pointer with Kobe, switch to Gasol, and you go in to crash the board or to put back a dunk, that kind of thing. It's so much faster. There's so many more things to do. Team Fire is something Jam fans have always wanted, and that's just the ability, 3 consecutive alley-oops catches your entire team on fire. Right. So you catch blue flames and that kind of thing. We've got an online tournament mode called Arena that we're psyched about. We've got online co-op campaign called Road Trip, which is super cool. It's just that 2-on-2 experience, but we're blowing it out, we're doubling it down, and so many little improvements and enhancements made. We added a call for oop functionality, so you can tell your teammate to go in for an alley-oop. We added a call for shove, which is kind of like calling for a pick, where you're like, hey, come over here and shove this guy. We added razzle dazzle move.
Razzle dazzle, what's that all about?
Totally. We had this idea like trick shots and kind of playing around with your opponent. Nobody uses headset to play Jam online, so we were like, well, we want people communicating, so we thought about, let's throw emoticons in, like smiley face. No, that's kind of lame. So then we came up with these kinds of things, like if I'm up by 15 points, maybe I want to do a granny shot. Right. Or maybe I want to stop and do the Dougie for a second, before. So that's where that kind of came.
A little more swagger.
Yeah, totally. There's more swagger. That's a good idea. And we had Tim Kitzrow in the booth just a couple weeks ago, and I was like, Tim, we got these trick shots, we got this thing. And I'm like, what do we call it? I want to call it like style moves or flair moves, or I actually like your idea, but And then Kitts is just like, you know what we should call it? I'm like, what? And he goes, Razzle Dazzles. And I'm like, yes, Razzle Dazzles. That's what we're doing. So we have a lot of fun with this. I mean, we never took ourselves too serious.
Right. As you shouldn't. I mean, this is NBA Jam.
Tell me about it. And the secret characters, we went crazy with this. The secret characters.
Throwback? Are we going to see some throwbacks in there?
We're going to see all kinds of stuff. Yeah. I mean,
you can't really talk about that, can you?
No, not at the moment. But yeah, I mean, we got stuff for NBA fans. We got stuff for gamer fans. We got stuff for furry fans. You know, I mean.
Furry fans?
You know what I mean? There's mascot madness.
Wow.
I just let it out. Yeah, there's mascot madness everywhere. No. We're having a lot of fun, and you know, it's always been just embracing the fact this is a game for gamers first, you know, and sports fans second, and you know, it's just the competitive multiplayer in Jam is just second to none, in my opinion. And locally, when you've got 4 people playing, it's just like sweaty hands at the end of every game.
A lot of trash talk.
Yeah, totally. You know, so it's just like how do we blow that out? How do we make that experience smoother, cleaner, you know, make it that much easier for people to pop in and play online, on the couch, mix and match, you know, whatever way people want to play, we wanted to give it to them.
Cool. Now I see Werner's over there videotaping our some of the gameplay. And he's got our Golden State Warriors up there. It looks like he's got Curry and Lee on the floor. So how many players from each roster are you going to be able to select from?
Yeah, you know, I mean, we added a bunch of new current players. We went with at least 3 current players for every team, but there are some teams that have like 7 or 8. Right. You know, and everybody always says, you know, why can't I play with this guy? He's like the second best, you know, backup center on this team. I mean, the thing with Jam is you can only have 2 guys on the court at all times. Yeah. So, you know, we tried to identify, you know, who did we miss the first time with last year's version? There weren't that many, but we added some. You know, who maybe shifted teams. We tried to fill out some teams. If they were missing a big man or they were missing a 3-point shooter, then we kind of brought them in. We redid all the stats for all the players. You know, we added a brand new AI. It's actually used in Fight Night. It's called Real AI, and it's just cool tech. We're doing some neat stuff with that. I mean, the first thing is I mean, our AI was pretty weak last time through. We all kind of know that. It was like you could see the switch on and off for the rubber band to turn on. This time it's more dynamic. It's more so many things. We've got archetypes for every single player now. We've got the point guard, the shooting guard, and they all behave that way. Right. Instead of just based on stats, now they're based on stats with that additional layer of this is what a big man does. So when you play against an AI team, it really matters who you're playing against. Right. If you've got a big man and a shooting guard, they're going to play like a big man and a shooting guard, so it feels different. You know? Awesome.
So I'm sorry, I got to cut you off. Cool. I'm getting, you know, I'm a huge fan of NBA Jam, so I could sit here all day and talk about this. But, all right, NBA Jam On Fire Edition, $15, coming out when?
It's coming out this fall on Xbox Live Arcade and PlayStation Network.
All right, cool. Thanks for joining us. Great. And that is NBA Jam On Fire Edition, folks. More from the NBA, or the NBA, more from the EA Studio Showcase 2011 as we continue with On the Spot.
All right, folks, we are live here on the stage, and joining me is Fernando Mello, a senior producer at BioWare, and you know what that means, Dragon Age 2 DLC. Fernando, you guys talking about Legacy, just announced it. It's exciting and pretty fun to actually be talking about it, showing it off.
Absolutely. I mean, it's been a long time since we've had some content out. We really wanted to go back to basics, really look at what the feedback was from Dragon Age launch, and then try to build that into the content. So we're very, very happy to finally be able to talk about what we've been working on all this time, and particularly the fact that it's our main story-based DLC, and the first one since we launched is great.
Yeah, now a story-based DLC, that's always carries a little more weight with it, especially with such a story-driven game like Dragon Age 2. Give folks a little bit of context where this saga is taking, where this DLC is taking Dragon Age.
Yeah, so I mean, you can actually play the DLC from any point in the main game.
Okay.
But really, the story revolves around Hawke and the family, and particularly the father character, who we only really talk about very briefly in sort of codex entries and things on Dragon Age 2. But here you're going to get a chance to really explore a lot more of that background. You kind of find yourself in all new areas. You're going to be able to dive very deep into a Grey Warden prison. So there's Grey Wardens, there's Darkspawn, there's all sorts of wonderful stuff in there, and it's pretty meaty.
Now, Grey Warden prison, you mentioned that earlier, and is it a prison for Grey Wardens, like gone rogue, or is it a prison only staffed by Grey Wardens?
It's interesting that you asked that question, but no. The Grey Warden
prison... That wasn't
prison,
a yes or no question?
Well, there's some elements to that, actually, but what's actually happened is they're actually containing a very powerful Darkspawn creature in there. So they've built this prison around the creature, they've kind of sealed it in over time, And Hawk is kind of being thrust into the middle of all this and trying to figure out what to do about it.
Okay, now so once again, playing as Hawk and, evolving your character, picking up new weapons, that's part of the fun of Dragon Age 2. Talk to us about how, new stuff or any sort of different ways, sort of character advancement wise, how is Legacy going to handle that?
Yeah, so of course there's going to be lots of wonderful loot in there. I think the team has done a fantastic job of adding a lot of extra areas to this. There's lots of side content that you can explore, which has great rewards as well. There's actually a couple Easter eggs in there, which is great. But one of the more interesting things, which we kind of presented earlier, was the fact that there's this unique upgradable weapon, which is a first that we've done. So one of the things is that you can actually upgrade it and customize it to how you want to play. So if you're a very offensive-minded player, perhaps you're a rogue, like the example that we showed, you might want to go for sort of like critical based upgrades, so critical damage percent or any of that kind of stuff. Maybe if you're a mage, you might want to do some more defensive stuff or mana regeneration or something along those lines. But effectively, by customizing the weapon and then being able to take it beyond the DLC, either back into the main game or into future content, I think that's actually really cool and very unique.
And so we're actually seeing right now, we're running the footage from the press conference. That weapon in this character's right hand is his version of the weapon you're talking about?
That's right, yeah. So depending on which class you're playing, and in this case with the rogue, he's using his daggers. So you get a dagger weapon. And the weapon actually works sort of like a key. It's tied to the story of what's happening in the DLC. But basically, Hawk is using this weapon to break these magical seals on his way to deal with this ancient evil, this very powerful Darkspawn figure. And he uses that or he breaks through the seals by using this key, this weapon.
Now, we are live, and so we're taking some questions here through the chat room.
Awesome.
Lonky Lanky asks about new characters, and you sort of alluded to more characters in the Hawk family, but anyone else you can tell us about here that's going to feature in Legacy?
There's no new followers that are added to the party, for example.
Okay.
There's obviously a lot of new characters that you'll come across. You'll actually meet some Grey Warden characters and some other interesting things. The one nice thing is that all of the followers, any of the followers you can bring with you, including Sebastian Vale, which was our first DLC, they all have tremendous banter. They all have a lot of reactivity to the game. Some characters more than others. Again, the content is largely around Hawk and the family, so if you have one of the siblings with you, you're obviously going to get a lot more wealth of information from that as they respond to what's happening.
There you go, pro tip, folks.
Yeah, exactly. But there's also a couple of really interesting characters. You actually meet some Carta dwarves, so bringing Varric along is going to reveal a lot of interesting information around there and some extra scenes. As well, not to kind of spoil it for those that are perhaps still playing Dragon Age 2 for the first time, but if you still have certain family members around in the game, there's also some extra scenes there as well.
All right, kept that nice and vague. I like
hopefully,
it.
Hopefully.
Now, a lot of Dragon Age 2 took place inside this sort of sprawling city, but now you mentioned new areas.
Yes.
Are we venturing far outside the realms that we've been in before?
Yeah, so you're back in the Vimark Mountains. This is an area that did exist in Dragon Age 2, but this is all new areas. You have never explored this part of the mountain range. The mountain range is actually quite huge. So this is all completely new areas, both the exterior areas that you'll be walking through, as well as when you make your way deep into the Grey Warden prison, you're actually going to find all of these new places to explore, and there's quite a lot of it as well, which is great.
Very cool. Now, the mountains obviously offer a lot of rough going, so no doubt an abundance of strange creatures.
There are.
And you mentioned some new Darkspawn. Are we going to see some? Can you give us there was one particular Darkspawn that we saw in the press conference. I'm not sure you folks got to see it in that demo just now, so can you describe that guy with the big...
Yeah, so the Genlock Alpha, awesome creature. So this guy, like this massive creature, and it's got this super powerful shield that it uses to really good effect. So you're going to see some very interesting tactics around it. Trying to do sort of a frontal assault, you're going to get yourself into trouble. Particularly with the rogue, you really want to get behind this creature. But we've also introduced just regular Genlocks as well that do not have the shield. Now this is more of a mob creature. They're still very big, very brutish, so you got to watch out for them. But that's another new creature in there. Another example is a Hurlock Alpha, a brand new creature. Originally came in the Dragon Age lore in Origins. We kind of brought him back. It's now being redone in the new art style of DA2 and has some surprises in store in terms of his tactics and abilities as well.
Now you mentioned tactics. That Genlock Alpha you were talking about, you're just sort of wandering around down a corridor, just seems, you're not in combat or anything, when then boom, all of a sudden this ambush just like comes right out, this giant shield. You were mentioning during the show that enemies are using their environment to their advantage a lot more. Can you give us an example about that?
Yeah, well, the example there, of it trying to use that narrow corridor to kind of hold you back and to great effect. There's a lot of other areas that are like that. There's a lot of vertical elements in some of the spaces that you're playing in as well. There's things like traps that you can use to your advantage or enemies will use against you. So I think there's a lot more in the tactical breadth of what you can do to kind of solve some of these problems. But I guess the best way to think about it is you're coming in as sort of the outsider. You're entering their territory, so you're sort of walking in at a disadvantage. So be prepared to be surprised, but certainly not in the sense of what we saw with DA2. That was some great feedback that we received, sort of the wave combats and things like that. We absolutely, spent a lot of time in this, making sure that tactically the battles are going to be set up in a much nicer way, and also just generally how creatures are entering combat will make a lot more sense, and I think people will be very happy with that as well.
Sounds like a great mix of, responding to the fans, to the comments, and also giving them more of what they want. And it sounds like it might be a little tougher as well.
It depends. I mean, you can come in at any point in the game as well, right? Now, it does kind of scale to your level.
Great.
But yes, I mean, we want to make sure that you have a nice challenge. And you shouldn't need to crank it up to nightmare mode to feel that. You should be able to play it normal if you want to and feel like you're being challenged. And
well, Fernando, Dragon Age 2 Legacy, when can folks get their hands on it and take on the challenge for themselves?
Not too far from now. So later this month, July 26th, on all 4 platforms, Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, PC, and Mac. So pretty soon.
Great. Fernando, thank you so much for coming by the show and showing it off, talking about Dragon Age 2 Legacy.
My pleasure.
Excellent. Now, folks, our coverage is continuing here from EA's Summer Showcase. Homer Ibarra is, of course, out on the floor, and he's got something new. He's chasing it down for us. We're going to take a look at what exactly that is.
Hey folks, Homer Ibarra here, back at the EA Studio Showcase 2011, and we are standing by with James Selby. How's it going, James?
Hey, it's all good, thanks. How are you?
And you are the product manager here at EA, and what are we showing off here?
Yeah, so I'm the product manager with EAI. We're showing off FIFA 12. It's kind of a tech demo that we're trying to showcase here. So what we've got here is 2 iPhones or iPod Touches being used as controllers. They're connected to an iPad via Bluetooth. Right. So what we got is a full multiplayer experience here. So we got me and my friend Jeremy here using the iPad as a game screen. We've also plugged that up to the big TV so we can sit back and relax and have a good game of FIFA.
Awesome. So I mean, obviously it's pretty cool setup going HDMI out with a little device here onto the TV, but you look at the graphics here on the iPad too, it looks pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's stunning. What the studio has been able to do this year is just incredible. They've taken it up to a whole other level. So they've worked a lot on the graphics. They've brought in a whole load of new game features, and as well as the controls and the gameplay. So this is just one way you can play the game. So we get a bit closer to launch, we can talk about some of the other ways you can enjoy the FIFA 12 experience.
Cool. Now, you mentioned earlier that the whole iTouch controller thing. Let's take a look at this screen because I was playing a little earlier, and it's really, it's really engaging the way you can play. And talk about how this control scheme works, and then also talk about if you don't have this device, how you can play it just on the iPad too.
For sure. So this is, like I said, super easy to set up just via Bluetooth. You got your analog stick on the left-hand side of the screen. You got your throwing. Sorry. Your attacking or your defending buttons here that quickly switch. You've got a little bit of information like stamina, if you've got a card, anything like that, what player you're playing with. We're still working a bit on the control system, so these aren't final, so we've still got a lot of time to improve them, which is great. But then, obviously, they're all connected via there. Now, if you don't have this works on iPhone, iPod, whatever, as long as it's a touchscreen, it's got Bluetooth, it will work. If you don't have all of these different devices, which some people obviously don't, you can just pick up the iPad or just at the iPhone and just play a single player experience of those.
All right, cool. So are the controls obviously going to be right on the front? So how did you guys integrate the controls so you're not necessarily blocking too much of the action so you can see what's going on?
Yeah, and that's a big thing. I think when you don't have any controls in there, you can really see just how beautiful the screen is, how big the screen is. The way we do it will be the same with FIFA 11. In the 2 bottom hand corners, but we work to try and make the ergonomics of it as great as possible.
All right, cool.
So you're not covering as much of the screen.
Right. So now we're taking a look at these two clubs here. How deep is this game going to be? Obviously, some folks kind of have the idea that iPad games are just kind of, they don't really have a lot of depth to them. They're kind of rinky-dink little, Angry Birds type games. But, this game looks like it's got a lot of depth. You got a lot of teams in here. Talk about that.
Yeah, so we're the only games company that can bring the full licensed, football experience. There's two different ways you can play it. For the person who likes a very quick 5-minute session whilst they're waiting for the bus, the train, whatever, we provide that. We provide that with a couple of game modes. It's very casual. It's very easy to pick up and play. Whereas if you want a really long, in-depth play, days and days of game time in there, we've also got other sections like that. Now, I can't talk too much details right now, which is unfortunate because I want to scream about them because they're awesome. But, we're a little way out from launch. We're launching this fall. So as we get closer, we'll be able to spill the beans on everything.
Well, and how many pitches? How many different type of areas can you...
I'm not giving you anything.
I get nothing from you.
It's going to be awesome, though, I'll tell you that. Literally, I was playing it the other day, FIFA 12, wasted an hour and a half, didn't even realize time flying by. It's so smooth, seamless. Anyone who loves the FIFA experience, they're going to love it on this platform.
All right, cool. Price point? Can we talk about
nothing?
Nothing!
Anything.
Not giving me nothing, folks, here. All right, so coming out soon, FIFA 12 on the iPad 2, iPhone, all that.
That's right. It's going to be awesome.
All right, cool. James, thanks for joining us, man. Appreciate it. All right, so more from the EA Studio Showcase 2011 as we continue our coverage.
And we are back, folks. I am not alone here on the set this time. I am joined by Alex Howell, the designer for NCAA Football 12, here to take a quick look at this year's iteration in the College Football Titan. Alex, thank you for joining us here.
Thanks for having me, man.
Pleasure to have you. Now, we just shook hands, and I was blinded by a little flash of bling right there.
Everybody talks about this. Everybody talks about it.
I mean, it's a little bit.
It's a little gaudy.
I don't want to say. I wasn't going to say it, but hey, you claimed it.
I have thin fingers. Okay.
Yeah,
I have thin fingers.
All right. So what school are you repping there?
Auburn University.
Auburn.
Auburn all the way. War Eagle.
You're an Auburn man.
I'm an Auburn man.
Are we loading up an Auburn game right now? For
we are.
To check
Auburn
out?
and LSU right here.
What a coincidence!
Imagine that. Oh
here,
yeah.
Show it off for the folks.
Where's the camera? Over here? Somewhere?
Over here.
Over here.
Boom. Yeah.
Yes. That gigantic.
Oh, it's shiny.
Thing. Wow, it's a big focus.
Oh, it's so delightful.
Oh, my hand hurts.
Oh my goodness. You know what? That's not a daily item for you?
No, not at all. It's a special occasion.
But it goes well with the outfit. Now we're here talking about NCAA Football 12. That game's coming out Tuesday?
Tuesday. So excited.
It's exciting for you guys.
Oh, it's great. We've been working so hard on it. We've been working on it since last August, last July. To finally ship it, such a great feeling. It really is.
Now, the game ships, people jump on that early. What's an exciting thing for you guys? First week, what do you look forward to, seeing the reaction, seeing how many people get out there? What's it like for you when the game launches?
This year, it's going to be awesome to see all the new custom conferences that everybody's going to create. That's a new feature for us, and custom playbooks. To see just all the new stuff that people are going to create on their own and take it into NCAA, it's going to be really neat.
Now, that was a big stressing point during the press conference earlier was, the amount of creativity people can put into creating their own teams, their own conferences, and their own dynasties. That's a real big way you guys are promoting the game.
It is. There's a lot of tradition. There's a lot of spirit that goes behind NCAA the game, and to bring that and to put that in the hands of our users, it's a great feeling. Especially with Team Builder this year, the fact that we already have 1 million teams already made, and we're pushing for that 2 million mark. That's awesome.
Now you have the luxury, being an Auburn grad, that your team it's already in there.
Yeah, yes.
But have you made a team yourself?
Of course. I went to St. James High School, small private school in Montgomery, and that's the first thing I made. And especially with Road to Glory this year, you can import all your Team Builder teams into your senior season. So I've made, the Montgomery Academy Eagles, Trinity Wildcats, every single team I played in high school.
Is one of those your elementary school team as well?
No.
Maybe a new project for you this year.
Exactly. Elementary football.
All right, and so one of the things we talk about is the identity for the school. And so these intros, a lot of these feature, players running by some statue, touching it,
traditions, yes.
seeing some mascots. Is there any mascot rumble mode here? Is that like a little
there is
little
a mascot
Easter egg?
Mode. There is a mascot mode. In the front menu, you can take on, if you want to play as Obby against, the LSU Tiger, do it. Go right ahead.
Really?
Everybody's 99. Yes, go right ahead.
Could you put the buffalo against the tiger?
You can have the TCU Horned Frog playing, I don't know, the Maryland Terrapin. I mean, go ahead.
This sounds like
up to you.
This is like a real interesting side mode for those folks who maybe aren't as familiar with the game of football.
Exactly.
But speaking of those folks, some people who don't have an identity with one of these big teams, or maybe are not so big into football that they would want to create their own. Like, what's the entry point for those folks?
It's really easy. We've made the online tool Team Builder so accessible that not only can you recreate any team you can think of, you can add logos to them, you can add entrance music to them, you can even select your own stadium. So it really puts your own identity on a school that you really want to create.
But the creation, so it stays mostly at the team level and above, right? I mean, we have players here, I'm seeing halfback 23.
Yes.
Can you go all the way in there with the name?
Fully customized. You can go in and edit every single player to every single attribute, to last name to first name to equipment. And also this year you have the ability to edit coaches. So not only can you edit the head coach, you can also change the offensive coordinator, defense coordinator, where they went to school, everything. The playbook style, super customizable.
Now with all this customization, one of the things you guys were talking about during the press conference was trying to make this game future-proof.
Yes.
Given this game the potential to just keep evolving here,
It really is, and on the NCAA team we have, a big theory of putting everything in the user's hands. We know that there's so much beyond NCAA football with other schools, the smaller schools, with high school teams, that bringing that to the players and letting them take control of that and spreading it with, socially, that's a big step for us.
That's pretty cool.
It is.
I like
it.
It's
fun.
I mean, that appeals to me, as someone who, I would maybe tend towards the arcade or aspects of sports rather than the simulation, but being able to get in there, put my stamp on things.
Exactly.
That's always, draws me in a little bit more.
It's a lot of fun.
Now, for those folks who are waiting every year for the new update, they're super deep into it. Give us just like a highlight or two that it's really gonna light their fire.
Sure. Not only with custom conferences, with custom playbooks, the coaching carousel on Online Dynasty, the fact that after every single season, coaches will go to different places, and not only if they go to a different school, there's got to be somebody that takes that position. So if, an Auburn coach decides that he wants to move over to Oklahoma USC, somebody's got to fill those slots. Mm-hmm. And it's not even at the head coach level; it even goes down to offensive and defense coordinator positions.
Really?
It's super deep.
So
yes.
your trades, your moves, they have this trickle down effect that maybe you'd be wise to anticipate. Otherwise, you might end up with something you didn't plan for.
Exactly. You can start out a small, some place like San Jose State's a small school, and as offensive coordinator, and build your way up to a head coach at USC. It's totally possible.
Now, when you're playing, you're playing head coach, for example. There's a lot of different. Are there different sort of depths you can play? From game to game. You can play every down, or you can sim a game.
Yes, Super Sim is fully involved in NCAA this year. If you just want to play offense and you're the offense coordinator, you only play offense. If you're the head coach, you can play both sides, but if you still just want to play offense, you can totally do that. The custom features are totally as deep as they are in the regular game as they're in Dynasty.
Now, how do you, when it comes out next week, you sit down, you have your copy, which I'm sure you don't already have. What's the first thing you're going to do? How are you going to play?
The first thing I'm going to do is start up a Dynasty as an offensive coordinator at TCU. I love TCU. I love the way they run their offense, and I'm going to see if I can just win as many national championships as I can.
How many are you predicting? Let's call it.
Let's go 4 for 4. I'll win 4 in a row.
Alex, a bold claim. But I'll be interested to see how you make good on that.
Confidence.
All right, now it's right around the corner. This game is coming out on Tuesday. What platforms can folks get this for?
Xbox and PS3.
Alex Howell, thank you so much for coming by the studio and showing it off.
Thanks for having me, man.
Great to have you here. Now, folks, we are chugging on with our content here, just covering everything this summer showcase has to offer, even though it's a little bit of a tongue twister. Homer Ibarra, let's see what he's got up next.
It's freezing in here. All right. Hey folks, Homer Ibarra here at the EA Studio Showcase once again, and now I'm actually on this elevated area, and we're talking iPhone, iPad games. We took a look at FIFA 12 earlier, but now we're taking a look at Pet Society Vacation with my man Mel Wallace, right?
That's right. So Pet Society Vacation offers gamers a mobile experience of the popular Facebook game. Basically, the two are very connected to each other. You can take your pet from Facebook and bring him over to the iPhone game. So it really is like you're taking your pet on a tropical vacation. So the minute you log into the iPhone game, your pet's physical attributes automatically transfer over. In addition to that, there's rewards that you'll get within the Facebook game for playing our iPhone game and vice versa.
Let's jump on in here. What do you got? Where's this dude going?
So this dude, he is on his houseboat. In the Facebook game, you get a house. Here you get a houseboat. The game really captures the fun of the Playfish Facebook game, which is creativity, socialization, and of course self-expression. So you've got a houseboat and you want to express yourself, but it's kind of empty, so you need to decorate the thing. So on the tropical island, we've put a bunch of stores, a boat shop, a clothes shop, a beach shop where we can pick up some, a swimsuit for your pet to check out. So every week we'll be adding new items to this shop, so there's always something fresh for gamers to do and to show their friends. And so once you've got your pet decorated the way you want, or your pet dressed up the way you want your house decorated, you'll want to show it off to your friends. So you can actually add friends through Facebook, through email, and go visit them at any time. So, and when you visit your friends, you can earn coins by interacting with them. So we're about to see some of our see my buddy Texas Ranger. So you see he's a little dirty.
He's got flies straight flying around. That's pretty dirty.
So let's go ahead and get him cleaned up.
All right.
And not only are we helping a friend out by keeping their pet clean, we're only earning coins that we can use to buy a swimsuit, to buy a snorkel, whatever we want. And then if you want more coins and you've run out of friends, you can actually take your pet scuba diving. So it's a great mini game. Go underwater, dive for cash, dive for treasure. And here we go. We're about to be underground.
Get your dive on. So what other kind of mini game activities besides this?
That's the main mini game. And also, of course, the socialization aspect is huge. And then there you
go. You're all up in the water.
There we go. So we're on a search for treasure. Now, along the way, we might encounter some predators.
Don't get eaten though.
There you
go. There's a coin. Get them.
So any coin that we get, we can use to buy stuff in the game, and any treasure we get, we can use to decorate our house. So
awesome. All right. So that's
Pet Society Vacation.
Cool. And how much is it going to cost?
This is free to download.
Free to download, folks. Nothing's better than free, people. All right, thanks for joining us. And we're gonna take one more game, right?
Yes.
And let's get your. I'm tripping over stuff. We're taking a look at Risk Factions, right?
Yes.
All right, let's introduce yourself for the audience here.
I'm Spencer Brooks, the producer on Risk Factions for Facebook.
All right, cool. So let's jump right into it. We got a trailer going in here. Risk Factions. What are we bringing to the table here?
Well, we've taken Risk and we've expanded it from the XBLA version. In XBLA version, we introduced the world to the different factions, the zombies, the robots, the cats, and the humans. And now we've taken that a little bit farther because in the XBLA version, the different factions didn't really have kind of a meaningful effect on gameplay. And now we've got a whole set of special weapons we've added to each one of the factions to make them kind of have their own strategy, their own feel. And some of them are really cool. Right now the trailer is all about the donkey cannon, which is one of the human special weapons.
Badass, look at that.
Yeah, totally badass. We've got a whole bunch more. Zombies have got their own special weapons. The cats have got their own. I gotta tell you, they're really cool. They add a huge like strategic aspect to the game. It's going to be great. We've got awesome PvP. It's real competitive PvP where you really get to own people. A lot of the social games out there, they don't really have a PvP that's super competitive. It's more kind of cooperative than competitive. Not Risk.
Who wants to cooperate, man?
I don't.
I certainly don't.
I think there are millions of players out there that just want to just own their friends.
Just smash them.
And that's what we got. So there's nothing better than having get out your donkey cannon and put some hurt on some people. Or the zombies have got this big Metron guy, which is like, think Voltron and zombies.
Metron, zombie, Voltron. You heard it here
first. That's a GameSpot exclusive right there. No exclusive. So Yeah, it's coming soon. Get ready for it. Go to facebook.com/riskfactions. Check out our fan page. It's going to be
Like it? Like the fan page?
Like the hell out of the fan page.
Maybe put a comment or two.
Yeah, maybe. A positive one. Be
Awesome.
like, God, this game looks awesome.
Cool. Well, thanks for joining us.
thanks.
Game's coming out soon. Launch date? Did you?
We haven't announced it.
All right. Well, maybe more to come.
More to come. Definitely
All right, folks. That's about it from the EA Studio Showcase. We are going to go throw it back to the stage for more demos or close out our trivia. I don't know what's going on, so let's see what's going on.
Man, that Homer Ibarra is one hard-working dude. He's doing a great job out there, and we have got another demo on the set here for you folks here at EA Summer Showcase. This is our penultimate demo. Joining me on the stage is Anthony Demento, designer on Madden 12. Anthony, welcome.
Happy to be here.
Glad to have you. Now, Madden 12, not coming out as soon as NCAA 12, but nonetheless, one of EA's, flagship sports franchises.
Absolutely.
You guys are carrying a big weight on your shoulders. How's the development process been?
It's been great. We had a great year. We really focused on what our hardcore fans want and what they want to see, and it was in the details this year. It's just like hundreds of little details, little things we got in, from 3D grass to the kick up on the 3D grass. It sounds minor, but all this stuff adds up. I've been a Madden fan my whole life. This is the Madden. You can't miss it this year. I know somebody probably says that every year, but I swear.
But this year, it's your job to say it.
This is the year. So
no, but that's interesting. I mean, the grass is totally a tiny thing, but when you get as close to realistic looking as Madden does, every little thing helps, because then you're sort of, it looks so close to real, you just want every little last thing to be in place.
Right, and the list of these little things goes on and on. Like our pylons fall over now. It sounds minor, but it makes a difference. There's a little sticker on the back of the quarterback's helmet, that shows they talk to the booth. Mm-hmm. There's, it's so much. It's like, it's hard to keep track of everything. It wasn't like that one big core feature. I mean, we have that, whether it's dynamic player performance or our big online feature, which we're going to be talking about next week. It's just, we did a lot. We have all these authentic runouts, which you're looking at now. The mascots you're seeing here in Denver. All 32 teams have their own authentic runouts. All the pyros hooked up. We have the actual Tampa Bay Buccaneers PA announcer came in and introduced all the players for these. So we really just put a focus on broadcast football and capturing that. You see here on these cameras like how there's a little shake, and how you see that little human error. We actually got actual NFL film cameramen to come into our mocap studio, put the little mocap balls on their cameras, and had this video playing, and we let them run around with their cameras just like that guy is in the scriptable, and we mocapped him filming this. So that's how it's more realistic it's the most realistic thing I've ever seen in a sports
You get
game.
that feeling of there's a guy behind this and he's pointing it at the players.
Yep.
So does that mean you're announcing playable cameramen here?
I wish. Maybe one of my features for next year. We'll see.
Now that's actually a question that I had, because recently in the NFL, you've seen a lot more of these shots where the camera is suspended on cables above the field, and so you get these sort of kind of like initially disorienting, but ultimately really cool, like tracking shots from right behind the line of scrimmage.
Right.
Do you guys have those here?
See, it's funny you should mention that, because one of our cool presentation features this year is we actually placed cameras in the exact places they're placed in all 32 NFL stadiums. So the cuts you see in replays and in all your cut scenes are going to be different. Like this camera here you see on the kickoff, it's different in Denver than it would be in Seattle, and it's different than it would be in New England, because it's actually placed in the exact spot it is in the stadium. We have all the cameras placed in the exact spots except for that wire cam, but that's no big deal. Don't worry about that.
Dude, seems like an incredible amount of information to work into your game.
We worked really closely with the networks and got a lot of information with them. They were super cool, letting us show how they do their broadcast, and we really tried to mimic that. Our goal this year was broadcast football, and everything you see on Sunday, whether it's just small changes to the UI there to make it look more like a broadcast. It's just, it was our focus this year, and I think we did a great job. Not to toot our own horn, but
man, that's what you came here to do. It's all right. You beat toot away. So, we've talked about sort of the presentation, right? Mm-hmm. But once you get down to it, Madden's all about the gameplay, the strategy, really getting into the nitty-gritty. How does it feel to play this new Madden versus previous iterations?
It's killer, and for me the biggest thing was we got rid of suction. If you haven't heard of suction, in our previous games we used to start our tackle animations a little bit before the players actually made collision. It sounds like it's minor, but what we did this year is we don't actually show
you mean
the
like
tackle.
I would go to tackle you and you'd start falling over a little bit before
we
I
kind
hit
of
you?
warped the defender into the ball carrier so that it made for some wonky looking stuff. So we changed that, and our tackle animations don't actually start until the players make collision with each other, and it makes for a way smoother tackling system. It looks phenomenal, and you'll also see guys, stealing tackles. Like you'll see a guy hit a quarterback from the front, another guy hit him from the side, and have him actually steal that tackle, push him off to the left or the right, from whatever direction he hit him on. And it's a game changer. So I have friends come over to my house and ask me to play Madden NFL 11 now. I tell them I can't do it. I can't even look at it.
Can't go back.
I can't even look at it. But
the future is here, almost.
Our other biggest gameplay upgrade was our zone defense. It's something that the guys have been saying over the years that zone defense isn't effective enough. It's effective this year. It's pretty much all I've been running. In fact, back in December we were looking at it. It was almost too good. We were seeing 7 to 10 interceptions a game. We had to pull it back a little bit. We don't want people getting frustrated, throwing their controller on the ground. But it feels
very
great.
thoughtful of you. That's nice.
It's supposed to be fun, right?
True.
So it feels great, and the zone defense is super effective. So I encourage everyone to try it out
Take
this
it out.
year.
So who's your team, Anthony?
I'm a Patriots fan personally,
Yes,
but
my man.
all right. But I try to mix it up in the office. I'm playing as the Bucks a lot. The Ravens are phenomenal. I try to use a team with a good run game and a good defense, and those are the type of teams that
you gravitate towards.
Get down with.
Now, of course, you're all football fans. You definitely want there to be a football season this year. But
of course.
Is there part of the development team that's like, hey, maybe if there's no other game in town, Madden 12, boom, that's it. That's where people are going for their NFL.
Like you said, we're all football fans. We watch every game. A lot of us get together on Sunday, and I can't imagine not having a football season. I'm optimistic. I'm hoping for the best because I'm hoping we get another Patriots Super Bowl. I've been waiting for this one for a few years now.
Yes,
Jets broke my heart last year.
Oof. We don't need to talk more about that unless you want to see some grown men get emotional. And even if you do want to see it, no, that's not what we're here to talk about.
Yeah,
all right, so Madden 12. This is also it's a huge online game. Can you talk about anything online that's really gonna grab folks, or something new this year that's maybe just a thing that's of note?
This is my baby, and I can't talk about it yet. We got a PR lock. It's part of our playbook as we roll out features, and next week we'll be revealing our big online features, online communities. I want to talk about it so bad.
Next week.
It's going to be
great. But the showcase is this week.
All right, I'm going to give you some vague details, okay? Yes. So it's kind of bringing that social aspect to Madden. We want to give gamers the ability to play the game the way they want to play it, against the type of people they want to play it against. And building off our big feature last year, which was online team play, and also the main way people play online is ranked head-to-head. So we're trying to incorporate those two features into a social aspect. And like I said, I'll get into. I probably gave away too much already. I'm gonna get in trouble, but
we can ferry you out of the EA Redwood Shores campus.
It's going to be huge.
We've got trunk space for you. We'll get past the security. It'll be all right.
We've been revealing it to some of our community guys who come in and test the game, and the first time we revealed it, we got a standing ovation. So I'm so excited to get this out there.
All right. Well, we'll be looking forward to hearing more about that next week. Anthony, Madden 12. What systems can people play this on, and when is it coming out?
PS3, Xbox 360, and we also have our iPad and iOS versions coming out August 30th. Got to pick it up. This is the year.
All right, very cool, Anthony. That wraps up our Madden demo, folks, but a lot of you have been clamoring in the chat room about a little game called Battlefield 3. Well, I'm here to tell you some things about it, but I can't tell you all that much. It's one of these PR lockdowns, kind of like Anthony was telling us about. So, Battlefield 3, are they showing it off here? Yes. Did we get to look at it? Yes. Can we tell you all about it? Yes, but that's going to happen on July 21st. That's the first day of our live Comic-Con coverage. That's in just about 2 weeks. And so you folks want to come back, and we're going to have a whole raft of new stuff on Battlefield 3 for you then. Now, not to disappoint you and put you off too long, A little bird told me that there will be a Battlefield 3 announcement coming down the pipe tomorrow. Something new, not exactly sure what. You're going to have to come by GameSpot and we'll have the latest on it most definitely. Now I'm going to look in the chat room, see how I'm getting lit up. Yes, thank you. I'm sorry that we don't have Battlefield to show you, but patience, all will be revealed and you will have a great time checking it out, I'm sure. Now, my man Homer Ibarra continues his odyssey around the EA Summer Showcase. I'm going to look over here and see it. Do we actually have more Homer action to show? We've got one more for you folks, and that is coming up very shortly. Homer Ibarra, what are you getting up to now, buddy?
No worries.
Okay.
What do you want me to focus on?
I'll let you just
Okay,
freestyle.
how long do I have?
We're back because Homer Ibarra is, I don't know, chatting up some lady with an iPad. We're going to try to get that going pretty soon. But in the meantime, we've got one more demo coming in for you, and it is for a little game called Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2. If you have any questions, anything you want to know about the game at all, I will ask them. I can't say they'll answer, but I'll ask them. So look for the join the chat button on the right side of the page that you're watching now, if you're watching it live. Send us a tweet to @GameSpot on our Twitter account. I'll look it up. I got this laptop right here. It totally does the internet, and you can communicate with me about Harry Potter using it. Now, Homer check-in. Are we good to go? Huh, guys? Yeah? All right, here it goes. Homer Ibarra on the show floor.
Like 5 seconds, so I'm going to just go ahead and see. Go. All right, here we go, Warren.
Hey folks, Homer Ibarra here, back at the EA Studio Showcase. I got one more demo for you on the iPad 2. I have Ivana Edry, producer on Need for Speed. Assistant producer. Sorry, for Need for Speed Shift 2 Unleashed, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Cool. So we're going to jump in here. You guys showed off this actually at the press conference, but we're going to get nitty gritty here.
Get all the good details here. Yep.
So jump on into it.
Okay, cool. So Shift 2 Unleashed, you're going to get everything that you love from the console version and more. And something that's a little bit more... it's catered to the mobile user. It's going to be a little bit more casual here with the quick race trials. You can see, you can jump right in. You just have quick race and kind of like, an Angry Birds system. You're going to get 3 stars. 3 stars is the best, and then you'll unlock more races as you go. We have over 40 new cars to choose from. You can customize it. Here's my Lamborghini that I picked. You can pick whatever you want. This is, the nicest one to, this is kind of what you start off with, right? So,
Get the Golf GTI there. That's one of my personal favorites.
Right? Okay, so this is like you're a high school student, you're starting out, whatever, and then here's the baller,
Baller styles, there we go.
Yeah.
How many different licensed vehicles do you have in the game?
We have 40, and then when you sign up for Origin here, which is our connected network for all the mobile platforms and for console, PC, everything, you sign in here, and you can see all your friends, what they're playing, and then also when they beat you in a race, you're going to get a notification, a push notification to your device, and it's going to say, your friend just beat you. Go in there and try and beat their time.
You can't let your buddy beat you. I mean, come on. If the push notification comes up, you gotta challenge them.
Do it, and you also got to upgrade. You got to make sure your car is fast. You got turbo. You got to get that nitro in there. You can ignite. So I'm going to go ahead and show you a race here.
How many different areas are shown off here today?
Okay, so we have I think over 80 tracks. Lots of fun races to choose from. We have 6 locations. These 3, Rio, Abu Dhabi, and Black Forest in Germany, are going to be the new ones that are exclusive to this Shift 2 Unleashed. So I'm going to go ahead and show you one of these ones from Rio with our Lamborghini here that we picked.
Baller styles. Forget being in high school. Yeah. Let's just roll to Rio in a Lambo.
Yeah.
Loading up here. Look at that.
Look how gorgeous it looks here. You can see these locations are just, so beautiful, and the graphics just look amazing on this iPad too.
So obviously, control scheme is going to be touch, right? Look at that.
No, you just kind of tilt it. So look at me, trying to get around these guys.
Yeah.
And the coolest thing is we're HDMI out. You can look at the TV screen right now and see that this looks, somebody asked me yesterday, oh, are you showing the Wii U? And I said, no, this is better. You can walk away and play it anywhere.
Let's get a little shot of that of the screen there, Warren. So you got HDMI out and going to the TV. So you can actually kind of just use this as your controller almost and be watching it on TV.
So, yeah, okay, screw these guys.
Get your nitro on.
Okay, I'm just kind of getting murdered.
Hey, just crash through them. Who needs finesse?
Yeah, when you're in a Lambo and you got the nitro, it's a bit difficult to get the finesse.
Look at that.
So here I am, first place, I think. Oh, third. Oh, oops.
It's all right. You got some time.
Okay, I'm catching up. So here we go. You got the auto brake, which is helpful when you're starting out. You're getting used to it, but if you turn it off, you can get a little bit more control. So it depends how good you are. Here I am going into, what am I on now?
So besides the little nitrous tank there, do you got any other boosts that you can?
Yeah. We have lots of options. You can do everything from buying upgrades to your acceleration to tires, everything, you name it. Like, you can customize it all the way through, and we can go through the garage later and I can show you. Change the color of your car. I'll show you different camera angles. Nice. So there's 4 different camera modes.
You're rocking now. Look at you.
Get
him.
Not really. The pressure's on.
It's all about the auto brake, though. I mean, like, I just like to roll, and like the auto brake seems to just help you out there.
We got disconnected here.
All right, that's fine. That's cool.
Cable, it's a bit unstable, but we're back. We're back in action.
Look at that, nice. All right, third. All right, hey, that's okay.
I think nitro maybe was too much for me to handle. Couldn't handle the heat.
All right, so you're talking about getting into the garage, personalization, customization. Let's jump into that. How many cars can you actually own? Can you just own them all?
Yeah. Okay. So you can see I have almost $100 million right now.
I wish I could say that in real life.
Yeah, because you know what? I made the game, so look at that. I have $100 million.
That's pretty sweet. Look at that.
Okay, so here's some of the cars that I've already bought. We have these exclusive, like, Team Need for Speed cars.
Okay. That's a Scion? Go back to that real quick. That is a Scion? Wow, look at that.
This isn't your everyday Scion. This is a $310,000 Scion.
That's a pretty hot Scion right
there. Let's go into career mode, and we can see what we have here. Let's pimp out my my Lamborghini here. Performance. So you can do speed.
You need a little more speed than Lambo.
Speed.
Shoot.
Yeah.
That thing's a clunker.
We got some more acceleration. Yeah, let's buy that. I got $100 million spent here. Increase my tires, suspension. Here's some more nitro. Yeah, I need more. Yeah. Weight. Yep. So that's pretty awesome. We can make it look just so sick. Get this body kit. Look at that. It's like Batman status right there. Yeah, that looks cool. Change of color. I chose green, but red. Yeah, that's hot.
That looks nice.
We got spoilers. Check it out. That's kind of ugly.
Get it. No? All right.
Listen.
Do it. Some wheels.
Oh, yeah, I got to get rims.
Yeah.
Or these are wheels. We're getting to rims.
Nice.
Oh, these are rims, too. Here you go.
There you go.
Sure.
Look at that.
$300.
Done.
So there you go.
All right.
Now I have a pimped out Murcielago. Looks pretty cool. You can take it back to the tracks. Here's career mode.
Abu Dhabi looks like that's what you got.
Yep. So we got all the Abu Dhabi, and then as you progress through career mode, you get to go to all these other locations.
Awesome.
And there's different types of events. Like in this one, you want to get as many drift points as possible. Different things, different challenges to mix it up. Keep it interesting.
And what about online players? I mean, like play with other iPad.
We have multiplayer here.
Okay, cool.
Connected via Wi-Fi.
Nice.
So that's pretty fun too. Play with your friends, and we're connected through Origin. So that's the best part about it. You get the updates. Your friends playing right now, and they just beat you. You better go in there right now and kick their butt.
All right. Cool.
And we also have MTX, so you can go in here, purchase different packs of money, and then maybe you don't want to grind through the whole game. Right. Maybe you just want to get that awesome car from the get-go, because who wants to screw around with
if you got $100 million, forget it.
So go in here and purchase some MTX, and then you just go right to the top of their leaderboards. Check these out. You
Look at that. Get money.
Yeah, money bags. That's the one you want.
Yeah, you want the big fatty for $9.99. Does it exponentially go up? Like, say, is it not an incremental thing? Like,
Exactly.
if you spend more money, you get more money.
Exactly.
Cool. Ivana, thanks for joining us. That's, Need for Speed Shift 2?
Unleashed.
Unleashed.
Yep.
That's a lot of words.
The one. Shift 2 Unleashed is what we say.
Shift 2 Unleashed. All right, when's it coming out, and how much is it going to cost? You released any of that?
It comes out early August, and we don't have a price point yet. But you can imagine similar to Shift 1 or other big EA titles. Yeah.
All right. Awesome. Thanks for joining us, Ivana.
Thank you.
That is EA Studio Showcase 2011 from here at Redwood Shores. Now, there it is.
I got the need.
You got the need. Let's head back to the studio.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to our final demo of EA's Summer Showcase. I'm your host, Chris Waters, and joining me here to show off a fitting game for our last demo is Tim Kaminsky, the marketing director for EA's Harry Potter games. Tim, it's Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2, the conclusion of the Harry Potter saga. This is very momentous. I mean, how does it feel to be working on, I won't say the last Harry Potter video game, but certainly the last in the current saga as we see it?
Well, it's very exciting. I mean, for EA, we've been a part of the franchise from the very beginning. So to see the journey and seeing Harry, Hermione, Ron grow up, and to be able to deliver the final chapter is exciting for studio marketing and EA in general.
And seeing, walking around EA campus, you guys have these posters commemorating the games past, and seeing that sort of cartoonier style of Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, where you're just plodding around Hogwarts, to what we're showing off now. I mean, it's clear that you guys have evolved along with the Harry Potter franchise.
Absolutely. As the movies and the kids grew, the video games grew as well, in line with those, to bring the most true experience, to capture the moments from the movie in the books into the video games.
So for folks who are checking, you guys are watching the gameplay right now, if you watched any Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 1, this looks familiar. This switch to over-the-shoulder action, the targeting reticle. Tim, how have you evolved just from that game, from Part 1 to Part 2?
Absolutely. So what you're seeing here is improved gameplay mechanics. It's on 3 fronts. Number 1 is all new cover system, which means he can duck behind, shoot over or cast spells over the shoulder, as well as a whole new spell casting system. He's using his pad, his Y, his B, his A, which is enabling him to quickly oscillate between the spells and cast them more frequently.
So they're sort of mapped to different...
They're mapped,
spells.
And he's hitting like Expelliarmus, it's mapped to the Y, Expulso, switch to Stupefy, mapped to the X. He's able to quickly switch between spells. Let's hit Protego, which is your defensive shield. So very easily to switch between the offensive and defensive. So improved cover mechanics, improved spell casting, as well as improved AI. So the AI is coming at you from many different angles, which was basically what we did is we listened to the fans, the players, and these are 3 improvements we definitely wanted to make and we delivered in this iteration. We also have a new spell, Apparate, which enables you to teleport away. So let's do an Apparate now, Eric. There you go. He teleports. Very cool spell.
Oh, nice. Sort of allow you to move from cover to cover.
Cover to cover. Or as people are attacking you, you can actually move away from cover to reset and advance.
Nice.
So
there we go. And I'm a little happy that it's not as gut-wrenchingly abrupt as it is in those movies. That seriously made me feel a little ill.
Well, one of the things we did, which I think you're seeing here, is this as the final chapter, you are up against Voldemort and all his forces. So the intensity of the action has been elevated in this final chapter, which you're seeing. He's quickly being advanced on by many Death Eaters, having to switch between spells, lots of strategy between which spells to use, as you can see as being played out here.
Yeah, I mean, he's moving through a corridor here and he is meeting with heavy resistance. I mean, now these do look like the hallowed halls.
Right.
This is the battle for Hogwarts.
That's right. He's on his way to the boathouse in search of one of the final Horcruxes to destroy. So what I want to show you now is we're going to switch, pause for a second, and talk about the other 2 things that are really new and different about Deathly Hallows Part 2.
Yes, please.
Number 1 is you get to play, go to a quick game here, Eric. There we go. Number 1, you get to play as different characters for the first time. And a big request from our fans was to be able to play as not just Harry, but Hermione, Ron, Ginny, Molly, Professor McGonagall. So you have a whole range of characters.
That's quite a roster.
It's a good roster, a good variety. Number 2, go there. The giant problem. There we go. Number 2 is.
Can you just put that in your hand while you're talking about it? Yeah.
Number 2, Eric, is the fact that fans wanted to capture those cinematic, those big moments from the game or from the movies and the books. And what we're doing is bringing them to life in boss battles. So what you're going to see here in a second is Eric, who's having to take the role of Professor McGonagall, and you have a massive troll, a massive boss coming at you with a lot of Death Eaters. So what he's going to have to do is utilize all his spells, both offensive and defensive, to thwart the attack. So epic moment here. Let's see if he can do it. Wow. Big troll, you've seen some from some of the trailers. He's using his standard spell right now, Protego, to defense against them. And I think what you're seeing here is just
That is a big troll.
It's a big troll. He's having Death Eaters actually approach him, which he has to take out quickly.
Just apparate right into the fray.
Now he actually doesn't have apparate at this point because we went back a few levels. You unlock them as you go along, but he does have a strong arsenal of different spells to pull from.
But those Death Eaters do have that spell, and they're boom, right in your face.
They're right in your face, exactly. So he's using just a variety of different spells, which is great. Let's use Confringo, double tap on Y. This is a great, very explosive one. There we go.
Oh my.
You can see in the top right there, the giant's health is being drained quickly. So Eric is doing a great job.
Yeah. Now we're playing as Professor McGonagall here. You can see her hair barely contained in the heat of battle. Do we, as you play with different characters, does your skill set remain pretty much the same across the ages from young Ginny to the aged, Professor, the wise and seasoned Professor McGonagall?
Yeah, so basically the big thing about playing as different characters is you're playing the role in the story. So it's not so much playing with different spells or different abilities in terms of being able to move quicker or more agile. It's more about playing their role, and that's what's the fun of it. And what our fans ask for is they want to stay as true to the movies and books as possible. So here, this moment would be just being relived in the video game as it is in the movie. And he's about to get taken out there.
He has gotten vanquished by the troll. Hogwarts has fallen. I'm giving him a look off camera. You can't see. It's not very nice. But okay, so it's not a terribly easy game. Like this, you are battling for Hogwarts. This is the epic clash of good versus that which must not be named, and you got to bring your A game.
That's right. You got to bring your A game, and as you can see here is a variety of different enemies. What we're not showing today, which you can expect to see, obviously in the finale of the game, is you face Voldemort for the first time, that person who shall not be named. So yeah, it's a fun, very true to the movies and the books.
And so yeah, pretty heavy stuff here. Now you're playing with a controller here, and we've got questions coming in from the chat room. Sid Byrne wants to know, will this game have Kinect functionality on the Xbox 360 like its predecessor did?
We chose not to go with Kinect this time around, but instead to focus on improving just the gameplay mechanics that you're seeing today in terms of the improved cover system, a whole new fluid spellcasting system, and adding new spells. So that's been the focus in this time around. We did have Kinect in the last version, but we wanted to focus on Deathly Part 2.
All right, cool. Now, Kanand wants to know, he's got a or she, these chat room names are hard to tell. Got a 3DS. Now this, we can see we're playing here on an Xbox 360, but, are you guys, branching out in terms of platforms, these new, 3DS, obviously fresh out of the...
So the game is available on 360, PS3, PC, Wii, and DS, not 3DS this time around.
Okay.
So it is available though on many platforms, and if they have a 3DS, they're likely to have a DS, so it's definitely, the experience is there for them.
And yes, your 3DS can play Nintendo DS games. So, there you go. All right, so this is one of the boss battles here, McGonagall versus Giant. Can you give us a preview of another encounter?
I can't show you, these are only 2 levels that we can show today.
Can you speak of another
I can speak of one boss battle. You will face Professor Snape.
Ooh.
Which is exciting. And you can kind of, if you've read the books, you will be able to anticipate the other epic moments that you'll get to see in the franchise.
Now, you know, The Deathly Hallows is a thick book. There's a lot that goes on, and you guys, so much so that it's been broken into 2 movies, into 2 video games. We got a question coming in from the chat room. Who was it? Someone with Draco in their name, so presumably, possibly a Harry Potter fan.
That's right.
Wondering sort of how long will this adventure take? You know, this is the climax of the books. How long are we looking at for the game?
From a start to finish, it's about 7 to 8 hours of playthrough for an experienced player. Obviously, different levels you can play as may take players a little bit shorter, a little bit longer, but it's a great experience to play through.
Very cool, Tim. Now, you mentioned before, you know, we've got Xbox 360, PlayStation 3. Keep going for me because I totally forgot what you were saying.
PC, Wii, NDS.
Excellent, thank you. Anything else you want to mention about Deathly Hallows Part 2 before I ask you the release date and shake your
Actually,
hands?
that's what I was going to say. The release date is Tuesday, July 12th. We're excited. It's right around the corner.
That's Tuesday.
It is right around the corner.
Very cool.
We're excited about it.
Tim, thank you so much for bringing this on the show. A pleasant surprise, and good luck to you guys next week. Hope it goes well.
Thank you.
There is your look at Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2, ladies and gentlemen. And with that, I take up the Elder Wand, and we conclude our broadcast here from the EA Summer Showcase. Tune in tomorrow. We've got more great GameSpot video content coming for you. Of course, Jody Robinson with Sync, as she brings you every weekday, and that Battlefield 3 announcement that I teased earlier in the show. We've also got a lengthy Now Playing for NCAA 12, getting really into the nitty-gritty with Sean McInnes at 4 p.m. tomorrow. And of course, tune in 2 weeks' time when the grand Battlefield 3 reveal is coming down the pipes for you, just as we kick off our live coverage of Comic-Con. And with that, we're finished. Thanks to everybody backstage here, to Homer Rabara on the show floor for making this tick, and thank you for watching us live here on GameSpot.com.